In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at back-to-back major snowfall events for the Cascades, into the Sierra Nevadas, and even the Rockies. Snowfall showers for the upper Midwest, into the Great Lakes and the Northeast. Above average activity in the Southeast, and colder air in the long range here for the Eastern United States. Now, before we get into things, be sure to check out Prestige Weather, where we do weather consulting for individuals and businesses alike. We also do early access to a lot of our videos. Right now, we have 3 exclusively up there. That's our third winter forecast, the when to expect your first snowfall, and the snowfall forecast compared to normal. You can access all of this for only $5 a month in the pinned comment and description down below, as well as the top right corner of your screen. Let's get into things, and right now we're taking a look here at this afternoon. So I want to take us towards this, and we can see there is a pretty major storm system over the Great Lakes. On the United States side of things, we see mostly rainfall, as you can see, but heavier snowfall up there for Canada is occurring. Now, we do have a 997 millibar low pressure center there over British Columbia, with a secondary low here over Montana and Wyoming, and then even another low for Southern California. These are all in tandem, creating a pretty wide area of precipitation, as you can see. Rainfall showers for the lower elevations there of the west, as well as snowfall happening for the Cascades, the Rockies, and the Sierra Nevadas. This is not what we were referring to in the intro, though. That'll be a little bit later on. By the time we're reaching Tuesday afternoon or tomorrow from the time I'm making this video, we can see that low in the east is now located over Maine. We're still primarily seeing rainfall for the United States, and then a lot of snowfall up there for eastern Canada. We do see persisting snowfall showers here for the Rockies especially, but some of the other mountains there in the west. Let's keep going with this though, because we're going to see more activity later on. Things do get very, very quiet out west here for a minute. We do see 1,005 millibar low pressure center there for northern Minnesota. This is again bringing some snowfall showers here on the Canadian side of things mostly, and then some rainfall there for the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. Let's see, by the time we're reaching Thursday afternoon, a couple of interesting things happening. We see some Arctic air trying to move into the east, but there's also this kind of rich, humid Gulf air trying to move in through the southeast, and what this causes is a lot of precipitation moving through here with the jet stream. So we see some pretty major storminess here for the south central, with some snowfall for Colorado and New Mexico, and then primarily thunderstorms there for Texas and Oklahoma, maybe even some showers. And then we get a little bit of almost a low wanting to develop south of Long Island. This is bringing some wintry precipitation to New England, perhaps, and the Adirondacks there of New York. Something to watch for in the near term for sure. Pretty interesting to say the least. We get another round of those snowfall showers by the time we're reaching Friday morning here on the 10th. So for, again, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even up into Maine, we're seeing that. And then also for the Dakotas into Minnesota. And then we get some pretty heavy precipitation here through a lot of the south central states. And then out west, we're seeing snowfall for a lot of these mountain ranges once again. Again, that's still not the major ones that we were referring to, although we do get some above average precipitation in the southeast here for the 11th on Saturday. And we do get some pretty major precipitation happening in the west, but especially for Canada there, as that low is located pretty far to the north, as you can see. It's right after this, actually, when we're going to start to see our main areas of activity. The jet stream is acting really funny right now, because you can see it kind of curves back towards the west and then moves eastward. So it's doing a little bit of an S curve there. Usually that is a pretty intense look. When I point that out, usually we have a storm along it. So it's actually interesting that we're not seeing that at this point. We get our first western storm that I was referring to by the time we're reaching Monday evening on the 13th. We could see this one moving onshore as a 998 up there in Canada, now bringing snowfall to the sea, or better yet, the Cascades. In just a couple of hours from now, we'll see the Sierra Nevadas getting going, especially the northern ones there in California and Nevada. And then as we reach the afternoon hour, that becomes primarily a Rocky Mountain snowstorm. We can see Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, down through Colorado. But right behind it, we have a 999 millibar low pressure center right at the coastline in between California and Oregon. And believe it or not, that's actually going to be the more major of the two on this model run. So let's keep this one going. And we see very heavy snowfall here for, again, the Cascades. down through the Sierra Nevadas again, very heavy down there. We're actually going to see that snowfall move west, or better yet eastward, where we do see the Rockies getting involved a little bit, especially in the northern Rockies, as this low pressure system is now located over central Nevada. Very heavy snowfall throughout all of those Sierra Nevadas, as you can see, up and down the eastern edge of California there. Very, very heavy snowfall happening there, and that would accumulate greatly and in great quantities, and for quite a long time here. Actually, this is the end of the model run, so we don't even get to see all of the snowfall that occurs, but we will take a look at the total snowfall in a moment. Here we are taking a look at the total precipitation, and you can see very heavy amounts up and down that western seaboard, no surprise. And then for the southern states, we do get near average to slightly above average activity here as well, and we can see where those showers are moving across the more northern areas. Now the total snowfall, we'll take a look here at the west first. We will zoom into the east in just a minute, but for these Cascades and Sierra Nevadas, we can see very, very heavy quantities of snowfall there. We can see upwards of 2 or more feet for the Sierra Nevadas, and then easily a foot to 2 feet there in the Cascades in Oregon and Washington. So very heavy mountain snowfall totals here, especially the Sierra Nevadas, where we're even seeing potentially 4 or more feet here popping up. Take this with a grain of salt though, as this snowfall event does happen a lot later, so potentially this is gonna change between now and then. Of course, we do see that the Rockies are easily seeing upwards of 10 or more inches, especially in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and down through Colorado. Very, very interesting. As we take a look at the east here, what we're gonna see is these snowfall showers here for the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and in through the northeast. But we're seeing maybe the grays or the blues here popping up. Expect to likely just see flakes and no accumulation. Maybe some of these mountaintop areas in New England, or perhaps some of these areas in the upper peninsula of Michigan or northern Minnesota could see a dusting to 1 inch or 2, but likely, not accumulating, just because these aren't heavier snowfall events happening there. Now, the temperature pattern does look to warm up over time. We do see a warmer week ahead for the most part. By the time we're reaching the weekend, though, we do see cold air trying to fight its way back in, and especially by the time we're reaching early next week, we can see a full-blown positive P&A pattern, and what that means is warmer temperatures in the west, forcing the cold air to move down for the east. Pretty classic stuff. And by the time we reach the end of things, though, we can see we return to a negative P&A pattern, and this is by the time we're reaching November 16th, and this encourages the opposite, warm into the east as a result of this cold in the west. Let's take a look at that long-range temperature pattern, though. As you can see, things do warm up just like that model was showing. Looks almost identical, but we see things cool back down for the end of November into the beginning of December, with more sustained cold air like we're seeing here for later on in December. That is the long-range projection as of now, and this would be a very significant Arctic air mass over the eastern states, and something to certainly watch for, as this would be a pretty long-term cold pattern, but not only that, very, very far from normal, certainly far below normal temperatures to say the least. Anyway, be sure to subscribe. We do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.